Morning. I've been gonna do a video on Brexit for the last week, but every morning when I get up, something happens. I go to bed and I think, right, in the morning, Brexit video, and I'll tell you what I think. So, where do we stand now? It's now the 12th of December. A leadership of the Conservative Party has been triggered. Mrs May came out at 8:30 this morning, or should I say 8:45, it was more like, and said that she was going to stand still. So she's got a vote of no confidence that will happen tonight with the Conservative Backbench Committee, which is the 1922 committee. And this is on a week of uncertainty. They say that Brexit is causing the uncertainty in the markets. It's the government's handling of what's going on that's causing the uncertainty. We've got a deal that can't be negotiated, but Mrs May has gone back to the EU leaders to try and renegotiate. What they'll do is it'll be a fudge. Oh, I got an assurance on this, a word changed here, oh, it didn't really mean that. We're in the sugar. I mean, big time up to here. If this May deal goes through, we could be in limbo land with the EU like Norway were for 16 years or more. Yet for Norway to join the EEA, it took them 16 years after voting not to join the European Union. So what you've got political leaders who want to be in the European Union, a political union, a superstate of Europe. You've got the Brexiteers on the other side that are reasonably thinking people like myself who want an independent country, and we want to be able to make our own rules up. Now, some people are saying that we can't manage on our own and that we need the EU as support. Why? Are we not a sovereign nation? No, not under the EU. So I voted to leave. I voted to take back sovereignty. Now they say, oh, we were lied to because it was so many million a week on the NHS. We're the voters. We know MPs lie. That's their job. That's what they do. We can't trust MPs. We came to our own decision. We wanted to take back control of our borders. We didn't want to be in the single currency. We didn't want the customs union. We don't want the Court of European Human Rights ruling over us. The Court of Human Rights was to try and stop a Hitler or a Mussolini. Britain has the rights in its constitution. It has the rights and the backups, the laws that we need. How in the hell do you think we managed before 1973 when we joined the EU? Well, it was the common market then, but we were lied to again. We were told it was a common market to trade easily. Well, fair enough, I agree with that. But as time went on, it became an ever and ever closer union, which is what the European Community Act says in 1973, but nobody read it. We just believed what we saw on the television or read in the newspaper, that it was going to be a wonderful thing. And I hold my hands up and I'm saying I'm sorry, but I voted to be in the European Union in 1974. Biggest mistake I made. I was wrong. And now I know I'm wrong. After that, I was 21. It was I'll tell a lie. I was 18. And it was the first time I voted. Main mistake. When I was 21, I was the youngest local councillor in Britain. I did that for 8 years and served my local community. So I've been on a council. I worked under government rules for councils and looking after public money. MPs have got a little bit more power. They've got a little bit more money to spend. But it's the same principle. You do what's best for the community. But MPs aren't working for the community. They're working for outside interests. Might be the UN, might be the banks, might be big business, might be secret organisations like the Bilderberg Group. You know, I can't criticise it because I don't know what it does. Their meetings are secret. We know now who members are because they issue a membership list of people who are guests who go. But we don't know who's in charge. We don't know what the orders are given. We don't know what happens. I campaigned for Kenneth Clarke to come back to the House of Commons and explain why he went to the Bilderberg Group. And give him his due, he did. It was a load of waffle. Load of parliamentary wish-wash that he gave us. But the principle was there, that as a minister, if he goes to the Bilderberg Group, he has to report back to the Commons. Now, we find that Amber Rudd now, who supported May, is now in the Bilderberg Group. Has she taken over from Kenneth Clarke as the Tory representative on the Bilderberg Group? We know Peter Mandelson was in the Bilderberg Group. Most of the people that were in the Bilderberg Group are pro-European. They want to remain in the EU. And what we've got now is we've got a government led by a Prime Minister and close friends who want to stay in the EU. They will do anything to make us stay in the EU. So they've said Brexit means Brexit, they've said leave means leave, and all the rest of it, giving us all the talk. When you look at the deal, we're going to get rid of MEPs, we're not going to have a seat at the Council of Ministers, yet they're still going to control our fishing, which has got to be negotiated, control our borders, which has still got to be negotiated. We may be in the single currency and we may be in the customs union, which is still up in the air and got to be negotiated. This is the future deal that's tacked on to the withdrawal agreement. So you've got the withdrawal agreement and you've got the political statement, the wish list. But what they want to do is to say in March that we've left the European Union, we've got no MEPs, got no seat at the table, everything's rosy, then they will take us back in again. These Remainers are not on our side. They're not working for the people. The people voted to leave the EU. Full stop. There's no argument. MPs know this. And we now know this referendum that we did and the subsequent debates in Parliament, we now know which MPs we can trust. And it's up to us, as the people, to vote for MPs that will bring about a Brexit that we want. If there's a next election, we will be voting for Boris Johnson's. We will not be voting for Kenneth Clarke's. Liam Fox, he's sitting on the fence, I'm afraid. He's a Brexiteer, but come out in favour of May's deal. Don't know where he stands. Owen Paterson, very impressed with his speech in the Commons. Very impressed with the comments that he's made. Totally agree with the guy. He was the Environment Secretary. Went over to the EU to do a Council of Ministers on environmental matters and found that environmental protesters, I don't know if it was Greenpeace or Friends of the Earth or somebody like that, was sitting in the room with them. And he said, I thought this was a meeting of ministers. Oh, they're our advisors. So, what we've got is the European Union it's not democratic. It's run by commissioners. The European Parliament only just rubber stamp stuff. We're coming out of that. Then we're going to be in limbo land. We need a Brexit Prime Minister. Mrs May should have stepped down this morning. What we need is a Brexiteer in number 10. We need somebody who believes in leaving the EU and then can negotiate a proper deal. It might need tweaking a bit. We just take the deal we got, keep the bits we like, and renegotiate the bits we don't like. We don't need to renegotiate the whole lot. The EU will try and say, oh, no deal, it's already been done. But we just turn round and say, well, if you won't negotiate, then it's no deal and we leave. We've got the upper hand. I've been trying to think of analogies that would explain how this all would work and how you would explain it to somebody. And I thought, well, it's like a game of poker. Mrs May has gone to the EU with a unmarked deck of cards, and it's been shuffled, and we're negotiating. Now what you've got is you've got Olly Robinson, unelected official, you've got the commissioners and their staff, unelected, working the deal. The politicians aren't working the deals. These guys are. The unelected people. So the very thing that we voted against is what's creating the deal that we've got. Mrs May has come up with the deal. What she's done, she's gone in to play poker. They put 37 billion, or 39 billion I should say, on the table. And she's got 4 aces. What's she done? Throw her hand in. So the EU wins. Now, where are we now? We are in a situation where we got all the numbered cards and the EU have got all the coloured cards and all the aces. We're in the poorest position ever. And the only way that we can get out of this is by Mrs May going, a Brexiteer being put in number 10, Boris Johnson, Ian Duncan Smith, David Davis, even Liam Fox. I wouldn't mind him as Prime Minister. But we need somebody who's Brexit, who understands what Brexit and voted to leave. And then we need a team of 3 or 4, Owen Paterson, David Davis, Ian Duncan Smith, and there's a couple of ladies as well, and I can't remember their names. But that's the team we want. Not necessarily Boris as Prime Minister, but one of the leading Brexiteers needs to be Prime Minister. Then we can start talking the country up and go forward and have a future. Then you'll see the markets will turn back up again because we've got a deal. We've got a plan, we've got an idea, and we're going forward. Now talk the country up. Let's stop having the gloom and doom. Just think, before 1973 we managed quite well. I've just seen my country just go down the pan in the last 40 years. Food prices have gone up. Why? Because we're in the EU. We had agriculture sorted out in this country after World War II. After World War II, we didn't want to be relying on outside influences or outside supplies for food. So we had the Agriculture and Fisheries Department, we had the Meat Marketing Board, we had the Fisheries, we had the Potato Board that could tell us what the best potatoes were. I got a market garden here, and every year I used to get a leaflet from the Potato Board telling me about potato diseases, what to look out for. We grew our own food. Now after the EU, what's happening? Farms have got set aside and being paid by the EU to stop production of food. They're planting trees. Yeah, great trees. Great. We love trees. They'd soak in carbon. But still more money from the EU. But the money from the EU is only our money to start with. So if we want to continue that, we can come out of the EU, not pay them any money, and still pay our farmers. No problem. But the decision then is ours. When we become a sovereign state, the decisions will not be made by Europe. That's the important crunch of all this, is our sovereignty. Anyway, I've waffled and ranted and skipped, and it's not been very constructed. Just done this off the cuff. I just want to say that Mrs May should go, and we need a Brexiteer in number 10. Anyway, Merry Christmas everybody, if I don't see you beforehand.